we now move across to Donington Park in Great Britain for the first of our 2 reports on Formula One testing. We'll be showing you in this programme 5 brand new Formula One Grand Prix cars, and this is the first of them, the new Brabham Judd BT58, which ran for the first time here at Donington Park. The drivers for the revitalised Brabham team, Martin Brundle from Great Britain, of course the reigning world sports car champion, and from Italy, the former European Formula 3000 champion, Stefano Modena. The Brabham team is now under completely new ownership and management. When Brabham withdrew from Formula One at the start of 1988, it was still owned by Bernie Eccleston, the president of poker and the FIA vice president of promotional affairs. Eccleston's commitment in other areas of the sport have led to the sale of the team, and throughout the autumn it was unclear exactly who owned Brabham. Well, it's now been revealed that the team is owned by a group of investors in Switzerland, presided over by Swiss financier Joachim Luthi, who has taken up the position of Managing Director of Motor Racing Developments International. So the name of Brabham will return to the Formula One grids in 1989. That's always supposing that it can get through its pre-qualifying. There are some 41 cars entered for each Grand Prix in 1989, so some 14 of those cars are going to have to go through pre-qualifying before they even get into official qualifying. Remember, just 26 cars will actually qualify for each Grand Prix. Did Martin Brundle think this car was going to be competitive?
Martin, you've just tested the new Brabham. Your impressions of the new car?
It went very well. We had 1 or 2 minor problems, which, as normal, the car only turned a wheel for the first time this morning, and it's very nice to drive, very easy to drive. That's always a sign of a lot of downforce, which is what we need.
Yeah, you clocked quite good lap times there. Does this good pointer for the forthcoming season?
Yeah, absolutely, because the car's not set up for Donington here at all with gearing or downforce, and we've been very competitive, and that's really just bedding the car in. So I think if we were here testing and working away for the day, we'd look extremely good.
Good. There's 40-odd cars in this year's Grand Prix, and no turbos. How do you see this season unfolding?
It's going to be very, very competitive. I have a feeling that Williams and McLaren have a small power advantage. I think there's going to be a queue of about 20 of us behind them or around them. We're going to be 5 horsepower between the lot of us difference, and it's going to be very competitive racing. You're going to see a lot more overtaking, diving into the braking areas, into corners, rather than just pressing a button on the steering wheel for extra turbo boost. It's going to be a lot more exciting.
And you're the reigning world sports car champion. Why the swap to Formula One?
I left Formula One for a reason. That was to take my name out of the spotlight. It wasn't going quite as I wanted previously. I went away, I knew I could win the World Championship. That happened, and it's elevated me up into a top team like Brabham. It's worked perfectly.
Martin, thank you.
Thank you.
From Donington Park in Great Britain, we move 1,000 miles south to Port Ricard in the south of France and take a look at 4 brand new Grand Prix cars. The first one is the Real Ford DFR ARC2. Their drivers for 1989, the very tall German driver Christian Danner, and new to Formula One in '89, Volker Wiedler, a man who's got plenty of experience, but in the sports car series. This is Christian Danner, the tallest man in Grand Prix racing. Indeed, they've had to make a special seat for him to fit into the beautiful-looking Real Formula One car. Now that Gustav Brunner has left the Real team to go to Zakspeed, this car has been designed by German Stefan Fober and Austrian Martin Goodrich. So the Real with Christian Danner at the wheel. We now move on to the brand new Arrows Ford DFR A11, to be driven once again in the 1989 Grand Prix season by American Eddie Cheever and Britain's Derek Warwick. Certainly, this is one of the nicest looking new cars of the 1989 season. The Arrows is the work of chief designer Ross Brown. The A11 is the team's first new car for 2 seasons, and Brown has spent some 18 months in lengthy studies into the aerodynamics and weight reductions to make the Arrows the car that it now is. The car itself will be powered by a Brian Hart-prepared Ford DFR engine. Of course, the normally aspirated 3.5-litre engine. That's mated to a brand new Arrows-designed 6-speed transverse gearbox. So away the car goes for testing on a very damp Paul Ricard circuit. The sun may be shining down, but things have got to be taken fairly easy. The brand new car then, all these cars making their first appearance at the forthcoming Brazilian Grand Prix. From Japan comes Aguri Suzuki to drive the Zack-Speed powered by the Japanese Yamaha engine. Suzuki, this will be his first season in Formula One Grand Prix racing. Previously, he's raced in the Japanese Sports Car Championship and also in their national Formula 3000 series. For Japanese manufacturers Yamaha, this is their first season in Formula One. They, of course, have won the Motorcycle World Championship with Eddie Lawson last year, but Formula One is new to the Japanese company. No, this is not a Ferrari, it's a brand new Dallara, to be driven in 1989 by the Italians Andrea De Cesaris and Alex Caffi. The car proved very quick in testing here at Paul Ricard. Andrea De Cesaris coming over from the Real team last year to drive for the Italian Dallara team. Again, this car powered by the Ford DFR engine. They were to be second quickest in the practice sessions here. Alex Caffi, seen here in the second of the Dallaras, was third quickest. The quickest at Paul Ricard, we saw them last week, was Riccardo Patrese with the new Williams Renault F12C. The Dallara managed to get into the late 1 minute 9 seconds, and that was pretty quick. Well, the Acela team returned with their new car for driver Nicola Larini, but to be honest, it wasn't terribly quick. The drivers for the Acela team then in 89, Piercarlo Cinsani, and as we said, Nicola Larini. Their performance will have to improve if they're to get through the pre-qualifying sessions. There were problems of a different kind for the Larousse Calmels team. Their driver seen here, Philippe Alliot. The problem was that Didier Calmels, the man who was responsible for financing the team, had been arrested in Paris. This followed the death of his wife in a shooting incident in Paris last week and obviously caused a shadow over the team's performance here at Paul Ricard. Well, that's our report on Formula One testing from Paul Ricard.